Good morning, friends. Friends, I am your assistant teacher, Mr. Anil Kumar Swine. Welcomes you back to the Gyan Jyoti online classes. Students, today on a fresh morning, I welcome you, and today we'll continue the section Geography. Students, a few days ago we studied a chapter, that is chapter number 8. Today we'll study about chapter number 9, Life in Temperate Grasslands. Students, what is grasslands? What type of different grasslands are there in the whole world, in the earth? Okay, students, we will study about it, but before that, let us revise the previous chapter. So, the chapter was, students, human environment interactions, and in bracket, the sub topic was the tropical and the subtropical regions. We studied about two different regions of the world. The first one was the tropical region, that is the Amazon basin, that how was the climate, what was the wildlife there, how are rainforest famous for its variety, then what type of birds, what type of fishes, animals can be seen there, then how the people of that Amazon basin were staying or living there, and how it has changed from times, gradually how it has changed. Because, students, in Amazon basin, what happens, students, what was before hundreds of years ago, but now it is different. It is now accessible. Roads are being made there. So by that, exploitation has also seen there. So next was, students, the next topic was about the subtropical region, that is the Ganga Brahmaputra basin. Students, along with Ganga and Brahmaputra, it constitutes the one of the largest basins in the world. Then, students, we studied about the Sundarban deltas, about the climate, about the vegetation, about the different types of wildlife, different types of animals, plants, species, then birds. Then, students, we studied about the people of that region, how they were living, what are the towns, what are the cities in the residing in that region. Students, so this was the small recap of the topic, that is called the tropical and the subtropical regions. But, students, today our topic is life in temperate grasslands. So, what are the grasslands, students? Grasslands, I will write the definition, students, that grasslands are regions, let me explain you. Grasslands are regions where grasses from the dominant types of plant life. Students, grasslands, let me write the definition. What are grasslands, students? Grasslands are regions where where grasses from the dominant types of plant live. From the students, this is the word for, not from the dominant types of plant life. Okay, students, so grasslands are regions where grasses form the dominant types of plant life. It means that area is covered by grasses. It is also known that we can see grasses in our nearby areas, in our towns, villages also, but that can't be called as grasslands. Their grasses are grown up to a height. These make up almost a quarter of the total land surfaces. Okay, students, as climate plays an important role in the formation of grasslands, students, is true, as climate plays an important role in the formation of grasslands, it is generally used as a basis to divide the world's grasslands into two broad categories. Students, and due to the grasslands, then the climate, different factors, the grasslands are divided into two. So what are they, students? The first one is, students, grassland in the temperate region are called temperate grasslands. Students, the first one is temperate grasslands. And students, the second one is grasslands in the tropical region are called tropical grasslands. Okay, students. The first one is temperate grasslands. The second one is tropical grasslands. Okay, students. Then the first one is we'll study about the prairies. Students, prairies is also one type of grassland. Okay, means it is the found in a part of the world that we'll study. First one is, students, first category is the prairies. First one is, students, the prairies. Students, prairies are one type of temperate grasslands. So, temperate grassland prairies are the temperate grasslands located in North America, covering parts of USA and Canada. Students, these grasslands are found in North America, mostly found in USA and Canada. Okay, in most of the parts of USA and Canada. It is a flat, gently sloping or hilly land. Students, it is a flat or a gently hilly land. It is situated in this type of areas. They are bound by the Rocky Mountains in the west and Great Lakes in the east. Students, these grasslands are bound by the Rocky Mountains in the west and Great Lakes in the east. Students, in the USA, the area is drained by the tributaries of Mississippi. In USA, the area is drained by the tributaries of Mississippi. In Canada, the area is drained by the tributaries of Saskatchewan rivers, and prairies originated from the Latin word priata. Students, it originated from the Latin word priata. Priata. It means meadows. It means meadow. Okay, students. So it means it has derived from a Latin word that is called the priata, and it means meadows. Okay, students. Then, for most part, prairies are without trees. The most of the parts, it is no trees are present there. Near to low-lying plains, they are flanked by the river valleys. Woodlands can be seen. Tall grass, students, what is the quality of a special feature of a grassland means tall grass up to 2 meters. Students, look, 2 meters high. 2 meters is the height of the grasslands. Okay, and it dominates the landscape. Means in maximum area you can find this grass which is 2 meters high. It is actually as a sea of grass. Students, it is also known as, grasslands are also known as the sea of grass. Okay. Then, students, we will move further. That is, we will study about the climate. So, what is the type of climate you can see in the prairies region? Students, as I told you that this is found, especially in North America. So, being located in the interior of the continent. Students, the Paris are located especially in the interior of the continent. It is marked by extreme climatic conditions. Students, we can see the extreme climatic conditions. Summers are warm with temperature around 20 degrees Celsius, and winters are cold and snowy with temperature around minus 20 degrees Celsius. Students, you must know that USA and Canada are mostly cold countries. So, if we talk about the summer season, it is 20 degrees Celsius. But what happens in our country? It goes nearly 48 to 49 degrees Celsius. But it is totally different there. And in winter, it is minus 20 degrees Celsius. This was recorded in Winnipeg, Canada. At times in winters, hot and dry winds called Chinook blow, raising the temperature within a short time. And the increased temperature causes melting of snow. So the grasslands are also situated near the snowy mountains, and it making the pasture land available, means the land which is used for pasteurization, available for the grazing of animals. As I have told students, the land is also valuable for the grazing of different cattle. Then students, rainfall is moderate and ideal for the growth of grass. Students, due to the favorable climatic conditions, the grasses are grown in large numbers and it is very favorable to that. Then students, next topic is flora and fauna. Students, what do you mean by flora? It is related to the flowers, and fauna means to the wildlife. Okay, plantations, vegetations. On the basis of vegetation, Paris can be divided into three. The students, okay, on the basis of vegetation, it is divided into three parts. So, what are they? Tall grass, prairies, tall grass prairies, then found in the eastern parts. Okay, this is found in the eastern parts. Okay, students, then the next one is the mixed grass. Mixed grass prairies. Then this is found in the central parts of the continent. Okay, students. Then next is short grass. This is divided into the short grass. So this is found mostly towards the red shadow of the Rocky Mountains. Red shadow area of the Rocky Mountains. Okay. Then students, what happens? There are hardly any trees. As I have told you in the few minutes ago that there is hardly any trees. Places that receive rainfall of over 50 cm are suitable for farming, as well as soil is fertile there. Trees such as willows, old elders and poplars grow there, wherever water is there. Areas with little or unreliable rainfall and short and sparse grass are used for cattle grazing. Sturdy men called cowboys looked after large cattle farms called the ranches. Students, the large cattle farms, that is called ranches. There are cowboys who look after the cattle farms. So they are, have you seen, there's a gold cap they may be wearing, they may be riding a horse. Then students, the next is about that I have told you, tall grass, mixed grass, short grass. Then we will study about the animals, fauna. So what type of animals can be seen in this grassland? Bison or the American bison is known as the American buffalo. So students, among the fauna, means the animals, if we will say that bison, I have written here, there is the American buffalo. It is the most important animal of this region. It nearly got extinct. Student, what do you mean by extinct? Means totally disappeared. Means the species totally disappeared. Either they didn't have got the right food or right habitat, or the poaching, the hunting is also can be seen in this type of region. So this type of animals may be hunted for different purposes. So it nearly got extinct due to extensive hunting that I have told you. It is now a protected species, means very less number of bisons can be seen in the American grasslands. Okay, then students, animals like the rabbits, gophers, then coyotes, badgers, squirrels, and prairie dogs. This is especially a type of dog that is called the prairie dogs. This is a special animal found in the grassland. Prairie dogs. Okay. Then students, what about the people? Which type of people stay there? People of this region are hardworking. Yes, they are very hardworking. How we can know that, student? They have successfully harnessed means used the technology to utilize their rich natural resources. Scientific methods of cultivation and use of tractors, harvesters, and combines have made North America a surplus food producer. Students, so you know that North America is a very good exporter of wheat and different types of pulses, cereals. So by harnessing technology and different machinery products, the hardworking people of that region have grown or yielded large quantities of pulses and cereals. Students, then a combine is a single machine. Okay, so what is a combine? A harvester. So that is called the harvester. You must have seen harvester, a very big vehicle which is used to cut down the crops after ripening. Okay, in a very few hours. A combine is a harvester is a machine which can combine the task of sowing, plowing, and threshing. That is a 3-in-1. For example, a combined harvester, that is called the harvester. The harvester machine or that vehicle is used as a 3-in-1 machinery. So which is used for harvesting, threshing, weaving, every purpose. Before transporting it into godowns, different godowns for storage purpose or to the markets for selling. Okay, harvester is one of the best examples. Then students, the prairies are also known as the granaries of the world. Why, students? I will tell you that the prairies are granaries. They are also known as the granaries of the world. Why, students? Because due to the huge and large surplus of the wheat production, maize and wheat are main crops grown there. Other crops grown include potatoes, soybean, cotton, and alfalfa. Students, then dairy farming is one of the major industries. Dairy farming, students, milk animals stay there. Then this belt extends from the Great Lakes to the Atlantic coast in the east. Dairy farming and extensive agriculture both promote setting up of food processing industries in the prairies region. So food processing instruments in our country also, there are many factories, many industries related to food processing. Mining is another important activity in this region. Student, mining, you know mining, Khadan. So to take out, extract some different types of metals, alloys, minerals from the ground. and there are very rich deposits of iron ore and coal in that region. There is a good network of roads, railways, canals in this region. All these have made Prairies region one of the most industrialized regions in the world. Students, first of all, North America and the countries in North America, especially US and Canada, are highly advanced countries. They are very developed countries. So this has made them more easier to make the region more industrialized nation or region. Then students, important cities in the American prairies are Chicago. The important cities situated near the prairies are Chicago, then Kansas, Denver. Okay, students, then Denver, then Indianapolis, and students, at last it is Minneapolis. So these are the different types of big cities situated near the or in the prairies region. Important cities in the Canadian prairies are Edmonton, Calgary, students, then Winnipeg, Saskatoon. So these are the important students. What are the cities? Let me repeat it: Edmonton, Saskatoon, Calgary, Winnipeg. These are the cities situated in the Canadian prairies. Okay. Then students, we'll move to the next topic. Next students, the next type of grasslands we'll study after prairies is the velds, which are written here. The velds temperate grasslands. Students, okay, we'll study. We have already studied about the prairies. Now it is the temperate grasslands of South Africa. So students, just listen. Grasslands of this topic we will study about only the life in temperate grasslands. Okay, not about the tropical grasslands. So it is bounded by the Dresdenberg. So Dresdenberg mountains. Dresdenberg mountains, and in the east and Kalahari Desert. Kalahari Desert in the west, and that is called known as the velds. Okay, students. Then they lie on a plateau of varying heights, means changing heights from 600 meter to 1100 meter. So this is situated on a valley from 600 meter to 1100 meter. Okay, it changes. Therefore, it is written varying. Then students, the major part of the veld lies in South Africa, while the rest lies in Zimbabwe. So look, it is also situated in Zimbabwe. Okay, these are all the countries of the continent Africa. Zimbabwe, then Swaziland, Lesotho. Swaziland, then Lesotho, and the next is Botswana. Zimbabwe, Swaziland, Lesotho, and Botswana. Okay, so and then the tributaries of River Orange and Limpopo drain this region. Students, the tributaries of River Orange and Limpopo, they drain, means they flow in this region. The veld means filled in Africans. Students, what does it mean? It means the filled in Africans. Like the prairies meant in the Latin word prairie, it means meadow. So the veld means filled in the Africans. The veld name was given by the Dutch settlers before South Africa was colonized by the Britishers. Students, you know that Britishers have colonized or they have ruled in most parts of the world. But before the Britishers, the Dutch also ruled or colonized the country South Africa. So they gave the name velds. Then students, we will study about the climate. So how is the climate there? what is the climate in this region? Students, the world have a mild climate due to the influence of the Indian Ocean. Students, you know that South Africa is surrounded by oceans from the 2 to 3 sides. The region has cold and dry winters from May to September. Temperatures vary from 5 to 10 degrees Celsius. July is the coldest month. Look, if November, December is coldest month in our country, but July is the coldest month in the South African country. Then Johannesburg records about 20 degrees Celsius average in the summer. Students, just to look, students, Johannesburg have only 20 degrees Celsius during summer, but while in our country it is more than 45 degrees Celsius. Rainfall occurs mainly in the summer months from November to February. So just look, this opposite, the rainfall occurs then November to February. Then this is mainly because of the warm ocean currents. It influences, that was the source of the welts. So this has an influence over the climate. Then if the rainfall is scanty, means very low in the winter months from June till August, drought may occur. Students, in the winter season, if the rainfall becomes scanty, then drought means famine, akal. Okay. Then students will study about the flora and fauna, which we have studied the same in the Paris region. What about the flora and fauna? Vegetation cover is sparse. Sparse means low, with grasses of dominating the landscape. Red grass grown in bush welts. In the high welts, acacia and marola are seen to be growing. Some species of trees like the acacia and boab grow closer to the rivers. Students, that's the reason, because the boab tree is often referred to as the tree of life. Students, here tree of life. Wow. Students, I have written the spelling wrong. So the boab, it is referred to as the tree of life in the African grassland. That is called the velds. Then, as it thrives in a place where water is scarce, it can survive. Every part of the tree has adapted itself to its natural environment. So it is so inevitable to the means that region, that it is known as the tree of life. Okay. Then students will study about the people staying in this region. What are the people, how people are staying there? Sheep rearing is the most important occupation in the region. So sheep rearing is the most important occupation of the people in that region, staying in that region. It is bred, means they are been rearing mainly for wool. This has given the wool industry a large rise in the world. The merino sheep, known for its fine wool, this is quality sheep, that is the merino sheep. The merino sheep, students, is reared here, and it is known for its fine warm wool. South Africa is the largest exporter of merino wool in the world after Australia. Students, South Africa is the largest exporter of merino wool after Australia in the world. It is the second position. Dairy farming, students, it is also seen every part of the world. We can see dairy farming. It is the next important occupation. Cattle is reared in the warmer and wetter regions, and the dairy products like butter, cheese are produced for both domestic supply and also for the export. Okay. Then the soil is velds. The soil in velds is not very fertile due to the presence of discontinuous grasses, exposing them from barren surface. Some area is barren, it is not totally covered with the grasses. Wherever the land is fertile, crops are grown. It's true, friends. Main crops here are maize, wheat, barley, oats, potato. So these are also grown there. Cash crops like tobacco and sugarcane and cotton are grown. Friends, as I have told you about the cash crops, sugarcane, commercial purpose they can say, then cotton, tobacco, cotton and tobacco. Okay, these are mainly grown there. Okay, then friend, the world is also rich in minerals like coal and iron. It also has well developed iron and steel industry. Mining is an important activity in this region. Gold and diamond mining. Students, Johannesburg, Kimberley, these are some of the famous for gold and diamond mines. So, gold and diamond mining are major occupations of people. Then, in this region, Johannesburg is known as the gold capital. Johannesburg is known as the friends, the gold capital of the world. Gold capital of the world. Friends, just look how it is. Then friends, Kimberley. Kimberley is famous for its diamond mines. First one is Johannesburg. Kimberley for diamond. These are the cities of famous cities of South Africa. Then mining of diamond and gold in South Africa led to the establishment of trade ties with Britain and gradually to different other countries. South Africa became a British colony. And the region also has a well-developed network of transport and communication. Students, we know that South Africa is also one type of a developed country, and due to this gold and diamond, it is very famous also. So students, this was the topic all about the two grasslands. Especially in the, like in Convert grasslands, we studied about the prairies and the velds. Prairies in USA and Canada, and velds in South Africa mostly. Then countries like Swaziland, Lesotho, Botswana, Zimbabwe, these are spread all over. So students, I hope you would have understood the video. Please watch the video and refer to the textbook while watching the video. So students, by saying this, I may bid goodbye to all of you. Thank you students. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Have a nice day.